hello, hello, hello. Oh my gosh, I'm always so excited on Mondays. I'm pretty sure if I go back to every Monday Night Live video I have done, probably in the last couple of months, it says the same thing in the beginning. Like, I am so excited, but I truly am. I love that at the end of a long, busy, tumultuous sometimes, but just a crazy day, right? The start of my week, I get to end it with you guys, my iRock family. And so I'm just excited that we get to talk every single week. So I know it sounds corny, but I really am excited every single week that we get to do these Monday Night Lives because, yeah, we didn't always do them. And my Mondays usually ended with me being exhausted and saying, okay, this was a long day. I'm going to sleep now. But now it ends with you guys, and it's just a nice cap on the end of the day. So, for those of you who do not know, let me add this to our screen here. Today, we're going to be talking about the 5 simple tips to close more sales. But every Monday, I like to, because we're all here, take care of some announcements, give away some prizes before we get into the meat of what we're talking about. So if you're here early, hey, say hello to me. But we're going to get some housekeeping out of the way before we get into the meats of it. And it also allows people to have a chance to log on. I don't know about you guys, but I hate when I miss a notification, or by the time I see a notification, I've already missed a session. So hopefully people will start to slide in, because I did put a little thing in our private group to let them know that we are indeed live. But while we wait for them, let's go ahead and take care of a few things. So for those of you who are new, hello. I'm so happy I added this slide to our Monday Night Talks, because what was it? Last Friday, we had an event, and someone came on. It was our Q&A, right? We did a pop-up Q&A. And she came on and was like, I caught your Monday Night Live. It was my first time hanging out with you guys. It was so cool. So I'm glad that I add this in, because before I just assumed, we family. You guys know who I am. But for those of you who are new, hi, I'm Corey Palmville Foster. I am a transformational speaker. I'm a certified business coach and trainer. And I'm also the CEO of iRock Marketable Business Solutions, based here in Virginia, USA. And we are all about helping people just like yourselves with affordable marketing and strategy services and products. And I want to say affordable again. I was just on a call earlier today. When I said affordable, she was like, okay. And then when we talked about the prices, she was like, oh, that affordable. I was like, exactly. My goal is for all of you, no matter your background, no matter your circumstances, no matter your budget, that we have something that can help you move your business from where it is to where you want it to be. I just think that we all can be amazing entrepreneurs, and it shouldn't be determined about what we have access to based on the size of our wallets. That's just how I feel. And so iRock Marketable Business Solutions can help you. We have 2 tracks. We have our Done With You coaching services. So hey to all my coaching clients out there. And then we also have our Done For You marketing services, where we do anything from websites, landing pages, logos, video editing. You say marketing, we do it. So definitely, if you ever have questions about our products or services, definitely check out our website at iRockMarketableBusinessSolutions.com. There you can see some of our amazing offers, and definitely just hang out with us every Monday, and we'll be sure to give you more tips and strategies for free here. All right, fair enough. Cool beans. All right, so as always, I like to tackle some announcements, just so you know what's going on over here in the iRock world. And again, if you're watching, say hello. I can see you guys. I can see the numbers on the screen, but I haven't seen anybody say hello yet, and I'm sad. Say hello to me. Say hello to me. I gotta sound sad, or you guys won't do it. All right, so anywho, let's take care of some announcements for today. I lost my little screen. There we go. All right, back in the right place now. All right, so we have another iRock Masterclass coming up. I'm super excited because my good friend Peggy will be in the house. This is a free event. We do a masterclass once or twice a month. That's it. If you're excited about that, you got to jump in, get in where you fit in. But our next masterclass is on March 14th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Peggy. In order to attend, you must RSVP. Again, you must RSVP. That means you have to register. Okay, we need to know that you're coming, so we can make sure that we let Peggy know who's going to be in the house. If for some reason you can't show up live, still register, because we do give you the replays and you have access to those for 48 hours, but that is only if you register. So please do, if you're watching from our private Facebook group or you're watching from LinkedIn, you can go to the event section of our pages and you will be able to see the event there. If you're watching on our general Facebook, hey, you guys are fam too, I'll make sure to link all of these after the live on tonight. So don't worry, just check back or give me a second right after I get off the live, and I will put those links there for you. Fair enough? All right. Another event that I am so excited about is it's crazy because we pre-recorded our session. And so I kind of almost forgot about it. And I was like, oh my God, this is coming up. So I recorded a session with Miss B. It's called Blindsided, Not Sideline. And I'm just one of many amazing entrepreneurs that will be doing these presentations on this virtual conference. This is a completely free event. So definitely, if you want to get access, go ahead and register now. You do have to register, but there's some really cool things there. Matter of fact, do I have it on my screen? I can talk to you a little bit about it. Yes, I do. So the Secrets of a Millionaire Queen Visionary, it features over 30 plus top influencers, including myself. And yes, it's free 14-day online show. So you're going to get access to all of those amazing speakers. Matter of fact, I can share my screen so you guys can see a little bit more. I feel like I'm cheating you by not sharing my screen. Let me do it real quick. All right, we're going to share that one. All right, here you go. We're going to use our technology wisely today. So it says, silence your inner critic and level up into being the powerful leader you were born to be by creating an iconic legacy. I don't know about you guys, but I'm all about generational wealth, leaving a legacy for my kid. So definitely make sure you register, especially because it's free. Now, these are some of the amazing speakers. Do y'all see me? There I am. These are some of the amazing speakers and presenters that will be in the house. So definitely do check it out. Again, it's completely free. Some of the speakers have been featured in some of these amazing places. So you know she got the top notch of the top notch. So please do definitely go ahead and grab your ticket. Please use my link to get your ticket so that they'll know that I sent you. And for the Facebook group and LinkedIn, I actually can do it right now. So give me 1 second and I will put it there while you guys say hello and say that you're in the house, because I'm always excited to hear that. There we go. I was like, I know I had it in my little show notes here. All right. So I will put it in case you are interested in getting your free ticket to this event. I'm always trying to give you guys the most affordable stuff. I do, and I want to let you guys know, I do get hit up for things that you have to pay for. And a lot of times I skip out on that because I want to give you guys the access. I want you to have the free things. And the only way in which I can do that is to share it here. So please take advantage, because I'm always like this. I'm going to keep doing it as long as you keep enjoying it and utilizing the materials. The minute you stop, we move on to something else. That's how we do it. Okay. All right. So that event is coming up and you can go ahead and grab your ticket now. We have 2 marketing products that are on sale right now, and I like to always share that with you guys. One of them is websites and landing pages are currently on sale. So if you're thinking about having a website or landing page, if you need one for an event, or if you want to have like a speaker website or landing page, or even if you want to zhuzh up the website you already have, definitely book a free call with us and we can definitely take care of you. We also have a sale right now on promo videos. That's a 90-second or less video that you can use to promote an event, to promote a product, a service. I recommend, if you haven't already put together a video for the kind of like the ad space of your lead magnet, that's a great use of this sale as well, because a lot of you may just have a flat image, and a video is definitely going to be more enticing and more eye-catching to your audience for a lead magnet than just a general picture would be. So definitely, if you have an event or a product you want to promote, definitely reach out to us on that. And if you have a video for anything else that you want, we do long form video editing as well. Again, just reach out. It's a free call and we can definitely support you there. All right, so let's get on. I'm telling y'all, I try to get through those announcements as fast as possible. If you want to watch them again, just, rewind it, because I try to get you in and out. So hot seat coaching winners. For those of you who are new, we do a little incentive for those who show up, especially those who show up live to these sessions with me every Monday night. And what we give you in exchange for coming is 1 entry to be able to get a hot seat coaching session with me for free. So what that is we get on a Zoom call, me and you. It's an intimate session, and you get to tell me all about your business, all about your hopes, your dreams, your goals. And I give you real feedback, tips, and strategies on that call to help you move again from where you are to where you want to be. So if you're interested in getting a hot seat coaching session for the next time, which will be next week. Just put a comment, share it, like it, do something like that, and we will see your engagement and put you in the raffle. All right, so let's see who won the hot seat coaching seats for last time, right? Yeah, last week. My brain's like, which week are we on? So the winners are, we have Stephanie, Felicia, and Kendra. And shouts out to Kendra because she came to our Q&A last Friday. And I told you, she said she had seen one live and wanted to join. She was en route. She was in the car and she was like, I'm still going to make it. And for those of you who missed Friday, oh my goodness, you missed out on the tea. We had Lion Flood in the house. He happened to just do a little pop in. He actually will be on the podcast. I have a podcast that's coming out along with, he's going to be doing a master class for us in the near future. He is what I call the podcast guy. His podcast is in the top 10% in the world. And when I tell you, I was like, y'all, we just in here chit-chatting. The people that came in the building, they walked away with a podcast checklist along with a whole bunch of software tips. It was crazy. I even went to Amazon and bought a few things. I was like, oh, word, that's what this is. He gave us so many strategies around using podcasts to leverage our businesses. You guys should have been there. You never know who's going to pop into an IROC event, especially a Q&A, because it's open to anybody. So yeah, shout outs to Kendra for showing love. It was her very first time hanging out with us, and I hope she got massive value. And I know everybody else did. They were like, oh my God, this was amazing. I got texts after, this was amazing. So yeah, we'll have another pop-up Q&A in the future. I'm not sure when it's going to be, but definitely be on the lookout for it because we do have a good time. People made some good connections. Emails were exchanged. I think Misha and Kendra actually decided, because Misha does she does market research, and Kendra was saying she needed a little bit of that, and they live in the same state. They were like, they were going to connect. I'm telling you, it was amazing. So definitely shouts out to all our winners, but definitely catch your Q&A next time we have one. All right. So I think we're good. I think we can now move into our actual topic. We got through all the housekeeping. And hello, author Marta Pickard. I see you in the house. Thank you for saying hello. All right, so the 5 simple tips to close more sales. All right, so let's start with this. So I was trying to decide exactly where to start with explaining these sales calls, right? Because I think that I wanted to first start with just just the sales call, but I realized some of you may be missing some of the initial steps that gear you up and set you up for success. So we're going to actually start there. I had to pull up my notes here. All right, so prior to the actual sales call, all right, because we've talked many times about your lead magnet. We've gotten those things straight. We talked about creating an audience of buyers. We've talked about all kind of things about your marketing strategies and things of that nature. They work. Here we are. Okay, the person has booked the call. So let's talk about this. One, if you don't have a lead magnet, please go ahead and make sure you do one. I did a whole video talking about webinar lead magnets, how to set them up, all the things, what to include. So that's going to be your first step. Most of your people will probably come through your lead magnet or through an event or through your email list. So just keep that in mind, just based on the strategies that I've already shared. You're going to make sure that lead is qualified. You can do that by having some type of questions prior to them being able to book that call. So for instance, if you ever want to book a call with me, it'll ask you a few questions, not a lot because you don't want to discourage somebody, but enough to get some information. One, you want people that are willing to put forth a little effort. Let's just be honest. If you're going to be selling them something, you want to make sure it's not somebody who's just like, oh, they clicked one button, they booked, because a lot of times people like that will just decide on the day of that they're not going to show. And they're not going to care about it because it didn't cost them anything. It didn't cost them any time. It didn't cost them any money. They decided they're going to go watch a TV show instead. So you want to have them put forth a little bit of effort to see if they're serious about, at least talking with you. Name, phone number, email address are always a must. Make sure you set up in your system to send like reminder, confirmations, things of that nature. That's why you need the email and phone number, and also to add them to your email list if they're not already up there. Now, other questions you might want to ask, say you're a coach. Have you had a coach before? Are you in a place where you are ready to invest in your business? Or whatever the thing you're selling is, asking them questions about, like, just leading them to the offer. They're going to be different for all of you, but you want to have something that kind of makes sure that they are your person. Are you? So I work with coaches and consultants. Are you a coach or consultant? Now, I don't only work with coaches and consultants, so I didn't put that question on mine in case you're like, I didn't see that question. But if it matters to you who the target audience is, definitely put a question there that asks for it. One of my coaches, it's so funny because she actually showed us her lead magnet. And if they hit that they weren't her target audience, it literally took them to something like a low offer and was like, hey, this offer isn't probably for you. You may want, I think it was like buy a book. It was like, just go ahead over there, because she didn't even want to waste her time or her team's time with the call. And you need to be strategic like that too. We have to get out of a scarcity mindset where we're like, we just want to get everybody, or I'll convince them when they get on the call. If they're not in a place where they want to purchase anything, they're not going to purchase. It's not, you're not going to trick them into it. They're not going to purchase, especially like high ticket sales calls. So make sure they are your target audience. Make sure you get the information you need from them. Even my consultants, make sure. I was working with the consultant earlier, and we needed to make sure the decision makers were the people booking the calls. Are you the decision maker for this? Right? Are the people that are booking the call, are they going to be able to make the decision? Like, you don't want an assistant to be booking the call to just hear the information and they can't say yes or no. That's a waste of your time. So you want to make sure the decision maker is on the call. And so something that I also like, once they even book the call, is for you to send out a little bit more information about your company or about anything that can help them prepare for the call. I actually went through someone's recently that it was a little excessive, but it worked. They sent out like a little PDF that talked about the company. It had like a video telling about some of their services, some of their social proof. And I thought it was well put together to kind of prep me for the meeting, because I went into it knowing like, this is what they do. They're experts at it. This is what I can expect on the call. And they even talked about like, hey, if you can't make the call, or if you're not the decision maker, these are the steps that you should take. And I thought it was just very informative, and that will save you time in the end. And then what will happen as well is, again, it'll take the people off that aren't your right target audience, so that you're not wasting time on your call. So those are just a few things that you might want to think about as you prepare for the actual call. So what happens on the call? Well, the first thing I want you to do is your introduction. You don't want to go into the call like, all right, you want to buy this? Of course not. You want to warm somebody up, make sure that they're comfortable. It's like, going on a date or courting somebody. You want to, do a quick little intro, tell them who you are, what's your role in the company, because you may or may not be the owner, and that's totally fine. But tell them who you are. Set expectations for the call. The call is going to be about 30 minutes, 15 minutes. I did a few calls today for my podcast, and I got on and said, hey, we're going to get you in, we're going to get you out, we're going to get these calls done within 10 to 15 minutes. They were like, yes. They were on board. They were ready for the ride. They knew it was going to be short, sweet, and quick. They were good with that. So just kind of set the expectations. Let them know that, hey, we're going to talk a little bit about you or your business or whatever the case may be for your industry, to see, what needs they have. And then at the end, if I can support you, then, we can talk about what that may look like. And I think it's fair. I don't like the mystery that people try to put around a sales call. Like, we all know that it's a sales call. Don't think your audience is stupid. They all know it's a sales call. Don't think that you have to be like, oh yeah, we're just going to talk. Don't worry. I'm not going to try to sell you anything, and then get to the end and try to sell them something, because now you've lied to them. And we talked before about know, like, and trust. You cut the trust. Be simple. All right. Hey, we're going to talk about, what you may be needing, what you're looking for, a little bit more about my company. And then, if we can do business together, we'll talk about what that looks like. And that's simple, and that's fair. Okay. So just be honest about it. It's okay. Some people like to be really cryptic, and that's the quickest way for somebody to be like, oh, this sounds scammy. I'm done. All right. So we're going to talk about the format, expectations, length of time. And then if you, for some reason, don't know where the lead came from, be sure to ask, because it's really good that you know where people are coming from, that they are then coming to your sales call, so you can make sure that you're optimizing whatever way they're coming to keep that coming in, because you don't want to miss out on leads. All right. So after you do your intro, because it's short and sweet, y'all, don't stay on it too long. We talked about that. Like intro should be short. You want to ask questions. If you find during your sales call that you are doing most of the talking, you are doing your sales call wrong. Simple as that. Now, you do have to take charge. I don't want you to let somebody ramble on. That's how you end up on a call for an hour. You definitely have to take charge and lead the conversation, but the other person should definitely do the majority of the talking because you need to hear what they say to be able to be ready to pitch at the end. Don't go into the call thinking I know exactly what their pain points are, right? I've done my research. I know exactly what their pain points are. I already know what they're going to say for objections, and this is what I'm going to say. It's like, no, make sure you're an active listener. The best sales people, right? The best closers are those who are amazing listeners, who ask the right questions, the best questions. Those are the people who are going to have the higher close rates. And if you find in the future, because I'm just going to be very transparent because everybody is not great at everything. If you find in the future that you may need to outsource a closer, do not be ashamed to do so. Some of you are not going to feel the best about selling. I want you to be at least competent in it. You don't have to be great at it, but be competent in it because you will need to know how to do it right now because maybe you're not ready to build out a team. And even when you build out a team, I promise you, when we tried to build out a team, that was one of the hardest things ever. Is like they want to know, well, what script have you been using and what has been working and what objections have you been hearing, because that can help them be better prepared. So even when you go to hire a closer, you still need to know this information to give them. But I'm totally okay with you one day passing it along because, again, some of you are going to be competent in this, but not super great at that. And that is okay. But like I said, you want to ask a lot of questions. You want to practice active listening. You want to be able to repeat back in your own words what the person has said. There's nothing worse than being on a call where you tell them something that's very important for them to go on to the next part of the script, and they never they never even acknowledge like, hey, this is the big deal. Because then I know, hey, I'm just a number. You don't care. This isn't personalized, and I really don't enjoy that. Again, no like and trust. I don't like you because you're not listening to me. You want to validate their concerns. So, the whole point of this questioning part of the talk is for you to get more information, like I said, to do the close, which means you really have to understand their concerns, their pain points, their needs, their wants, because whatever you're selling needs to solve that problem. That's why it's important to pick your questions wisely, because the questions you ask need to also lead to the offer. So you want to validate them, like, oh, okay, like when I'm on a call and somebody's saying, yeah, like I know I need to do more social media posting, but I'm just not very consistent. Oh, I totally get that. I totally get that. I remember when I started my business, I wasn't very consistent because I just didn't have the time, and I didn't, want to sit and make content every day. Like, yeah, you just want to validate and say, yes, I hear you. I understand. I sympathize. I empathize. I totally get it. Because that makes them be like, all right, I'm seen, I'm heard, they understand. Because you want to build that bond and that rapport doing this quick, usually 15 to 30-minute call. All right, you want to ask follow-up questions based on their answers. Now, when you go to write your script, which I encourage you do, you're not going to read it verbatim. It's a guide. So based on the answer they give, you're going to follow up with your next question. Again, it looks really crazy when you just go, the next line is this. If you've ever had like a telemarketing call where they just read, and you're like, okay, hold on, wait, and they're just read, those aren't fun. And those aren't going to be fun for your client and prospective clients, because they're not going to be your clients, because they're not going to say yes if you do that. So make sure you're willing to customize, and you can do that by listening. And the first couple of times you do the sales call, it may be a little choppy, so practice, but you'll start to get the hang of it, and you'll know like, okay, the next section is about this, and you'll be able to pivot easily and kind of guide yourself through the process. All right. So you ask your follow-up questions. You want to make sure that the questions, again, are relevant to what you're selling. You want to be as genuine as possible and be truly interested in the conversation. If you look bored, if you look like this is just a Tuesday and you have to be on this call, they're going to feel that. They're going to see that, and they're going to see that you're not really authentic. And again, you're not going to get the call. And like I said, the main goal, and I'm going to keep saying it, is focus on their needs and their concerns. This is the part. If you get through this whole question process and you don't know what their issues are, what their pain points are, again, you're not gonna get it. you're not going to get it. It's the way it is. So you got to listen, you got to find it. And sometimes you do have to pull it out. I've been on sales calls where I kind of know what's coming up and they're like, but what would your life look like if this worked? Like, just sell it to me. Just tell me the price. You know what I mean? And so they're like, no, just, let's talk through this. And sometimes you're going to have to be like that. With people, because again, they know it's a sales call. They know that, a lot of people know the game. So you just have to be willing to kind of talk them through the process so that you get the information you need. All right. So the next step, you've done your intro, you've asked the questions, is to deliver the pitch itself. So you want to clearly communicate the value. This is another part people mess up. The value of the offer. I can tell when somebody is a newer coach or consultant or somebody who's a new salesperson because they tell me what's included. Hey, you get this, and this. Okay. And you have to realize a lot of people don't know what they need. They just know what I shouldn't say they don't know what they need. They don't know what elements they need. They know the result they want, right? They know the issues they're currently having, but they don't know that your value bundle that includes 3 sessions will get them there. So don't tell them again, you can outline things, but focus on the value. All right. If your course is about healing, don't say, yeah, you're going to get a 7-part course that focuses on this, and this. Say, yes, you're going to get a self-paced course that will guide you through the healing process of getting over, or walking through the feelings you have around the loss of a significant spouse, something like that. You're not saying, okay, you're going to get these modules. You really have to focus on the value. How will your product change and impact their life? What will their life look like having been through your product or service? Okay, that's what they care about. They don't care about the special bonus. And I'm not saying you can't mention it, but you really have to lean more into the results versus just the pieces of the system. Because I can't tell you how many times I get on marketing calls and people come and tell me what they want. And then by the time we end up the call, they realize like, oh crap, I need some other stuff. Because in their head, they're like, oh yeah, I'm ready to market. And by the time we finish the call, they realize they don't have a product to market. I'm like, yo, what are we selling? But I want a website and I want to have social media marketing. Okay, what products or services do you have? Well, in the future, I want to have, but wait, we don't have nothing to market. Then let's do this. We need to do a power hour so that we can first make sure you have a signature offer so that we can then market it. You know what I mean? Oh, I want a speaker's website. Okay, cool. Do you have a one sheet? Do you have a speaker's reel? No. Okay, we might need to do that because we don't have nothing to put on your speaker's website. So you have to go through those questions and then make sure that they know what they need based on what you've gathered from that information. Again, just focusing on the value, focusing on the benefits, focusing on the outcomes and the results. And if you haven't already, make sure you're sharing social proof, whether it be your experience going through your own product or service, other people's experiences, data around it. Don't be too data hard, but there are people who are very into data. So, sprinkle it in. To make sure that they understand that this is going to be a rock star thing in their life. This is going to change the very foundation of everything. This is going to make them smile in the morning, whatever the case may be, whatever you're selling. Just make sure they really walk away understanding that if they don't buy this now, they are going to wake up tomorrow and regret it. Okay. And I'm not saying be used car salesman, but I would hope that all of you are making amazing products and services that are going to be impactful in a positive way in someone's life. And if you're not doing that, then you're probably not on the right live right now, because I only work with amazing entrepreneurs who are trying to better other people's lives, right? I don't have any Bitcoin people in here. No offense if you are, but we are here to really make positive change in the world. And if that is the case, then you shouldn't have any issue telling people how amazing your product is going to just rock their world. All right. Look, if you're watching this, say rock their world in the chat, because that's what I'm trying to do. That's what my products and services do. They put you at ease. No longer do you have to stress about getting your social media out there. No longer do you have to hope that freelancer you hired will actually get your website up. No longer do you have course and in this product piecing together your products and your services and finding your target audience. I'm here to support you. I'm here to take that stress away, right? That's the kind of things you need to be saying to your target audience on these calls. Now, the last part I want to talk, well, the second to last part I want to talk about, because we're at tip 4. We're going fast, I know, but that's just how I like to do things. I like to get you in and get you out. We're going to talk about objections, because you can be the best sales. I have to laugh because I've heard some crazy objections in my life, but you can be the best salesperson in the world, but people will have objections. Period.com. Your goal is to, one, know some common objections that you will face in your business, and that's why I said you need to go through it several times so you can see which ones pop up, and we'll go over some of the more common ones here in a moment, because it's better for you, if you know the most common ones, to put that into the question and to the pitch, to kind of already have those overcoming statements so that you don't waste time at the end when you're like, do you have any questions? And they're like, objection, objection, objection. And you're like putting out fires. You just want to build a fireproof house before it happens, so that they are not hitting you with a lot of objections, because they do take up time. You only have about 15 to 30 minutes on that call. And if you can alleviate their worries during the pitch, during the questions, during the intro, then you'll have a better time when you get to the end. But you're still going to have objections that pop up, especially like right after you do your pitch. They're going to have questions, comments, and concerns. And so we're going to talk about some of the objections that you may face. The number one I see is called lack of budget. Now, even though I am all about affordability, there's always going to be people who have budget objections. And this can sound like many things. It can sound like it's too expensive. That's not in my budget. Not sure how I can swing that. Is there a cheaper option? I saw something similar for less. I got that one today. I was like, No, it was in a nice way. They were telling me that they were thinking about hiring a VA from the Philippines. And I was like, that's cool beans. I used to be a VA. I totally get that. But I also explained that when you have a VA, right, when you hire a freelancer, especially from another country, one, you're going to have a language barrier. And it's not just a language barrier that, because a lot of people in the Philippines speak really good English, but it's also a cultural barrier. There may be some things in the way you would say things and how you would communicate with your audience that they're just not going to get. But there's also this thing of, when you have a VA, you sometimes have to spoon feed them stuff. When it comes, because I do social media content a lot for clients, and that's the one I always get, well, I can just get a VA for less. Well, you're going to be writing your content. You're going to be researching it. You're going to be writing it. You don't know how good they are, if they're going to find you trending hashtags. They're not going to be able to give you additional support typically with tech. They're literally going to come in, they're going to make your graphic, if that, they're going to post it, and they're going to walk away. And so you're not getting any of the expert attention that my company can give you. I always tell them I'm set apart, because not only are we going to do the work, we're going to research the work to make sure you're up to date and that you look like an expert, but then we're also going to write it. We're going to put it together. We're going to post it for you. And then when you get stuck doing all the rest of the tech stuff, we're going to give you suggestions too. We're going to check in with you. We're going to make sure we're ahead of your launches. We're going to give you tips and strategies on top of what you already know. So we're actually coming to your table with a table, versus a VA is coming to your table with a chair. And there's a difference. And so you want to make sure that you emphasize that, yes, you may not be the cheapest in town, but you're the best in town. There used to be a TikTok that was going around there that was like, hey, I'm not the cheapest. If you're looking for the cheapest, go somewhere, but I am the best, right? And you may not be the best in the actual product. Maybe you have the best customer service, right? Maybe you have the best hands-on service. Whatever the case may be, find what's unique about you, your unique selling point, and emphasize that, because oftentimes they're just trying to see, like, why is this the price that it is? When people tell me things are too expensive, something else that's really good to have is know your rates. Yes, you can give discounts when necessary. I like to do an incentive on the call. I do an incentive if they bundle. For my big high tickets, I offer payment plans, things of that nature. For all my consultants, I always say give them a discount if they pay in full, because a lot of times with consulting work, they will pay a portion at the signing of the contract, and then they'll pay the remainder after the work is done, which could be months later. So yeah, they get a discount if they pay in full. Sometimes I will give bonuses. I'd rather give bonuses than discounts. So those things can happen. So know what you can offer and know what you can't. Sometimes you just got to say, okay, after you go through all of this, if they say, hey, maybe you charge $5,000 for something and they're saying they can give you 100. they're not your client. They're not your client. You can't say yes to that, because if you give them that $100, they're going to bother you to death. They're going to be the worst clients ever. So know what you're worth. Know what you're willing to discount. Know what you're willing not to discount. Know your incentives. Know your bonuses and things of that nature, and know your worth. All right. And then also just kind of go back to the solution, because some people will say, like, say for instance, you coach. Well, maybe you're a health and wellness coach. Well, I don't have, $6,000 for a fitness coach for 6 months. And you're like, okay, cool. So how much have you spent on meal plans in the last year? How much have you spent on gym memberships where you never go to the gym? How much weight have you lost on your own? Right? And then when they say, I spent all this money, I done wasted all this time. Okay, well, if you invest in this program, we're going to give you the meal plan so you don't have to worry about it. We're going to give you the accountability. We're going to check in on you to make sure that you're staying up on your things. We're going to also do weekly weigh-ins. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And then you're like, oh, okay, now again, I see the value. I see the results that it can give me. And I'm more likely to say yes, because people just need to know that the money they're spending, and this is why we always say investment and not price, is an investment. They're going to have a ROI. They're going to have a return on investment, because your prices are your prices are your prices. And that's fine. But you have to explain to them what is the result they're going to get that justifies the price. You're not trying to say, itemize, well, this usually costs this and this costs this. No, the value you're going to get is this. This is why you invest in it. Okay. So let's see here. Another objection we get a lot is a lack of trust. And we talk about 3 things that they have to have before they buy from you. They got to know, like, and trust. So trust gets broken, or they don't trust you because you're new, right? Sometimes you guys are pulling people in, maybe from an event. They've only talked to you once, and then you're giving them this high ticket offer. They don't really know you. So you really do have to have that social proof that you can pull out and say, hey, I get you don't know me, but look at the stories of these people. I've had people that I've talked to them like, hey, you can check with this person, and they've had experience with me, they've done great, or I've worked with this person, and they're doing this and that. And so actually, matter of fact, when I met Kendra, I name dropped one of my old clients, Chanel DeBose. And if you watch my old hot seat coaching session, a lot of the people when I started that segment knew her as well, and they came from that coach. And she happened to be she was a marketing client of mine, and I'm like, yeah, we worked with her. She does multi 6 figures. I also name dropped Malika Humphreys. You can look her up. Emerging Consultants, I do believe, is her company name now. And last year she was only a couple of $1,000s away from 10 million in revenue. She does government contracts. She's a consultant for government contracts. So I name drop. And I do it all the time. And that's okay, because that's my social proof that I am who I am. I do what I say I'm going to do, and I can get the results that I want. Now, are everybody going to get the same results? Absolutely not, because different people come to the table with different things, different budgets, different aspirations, different drives, but at least they know that you've been doing the real work. And if you're new, talk about your own experience. Some of you are brand spanking new, maybe not have had a client yet. Talk about how your program helped you, right? Maybe again, you're doing weight loss training. You used to be 300 pounds. You did this, this, and this. There's a girl on TikTok right now. Every day I go up there, she is live, and she talks about how she used to be real fat, and she uses the word fat. And she's like, and I cut this and I did that. And she's up there and she sells meal plans. She almost got me. I think if I keep watching these videos, she may get me. But yeah, she's selling meal plans and fitness packages and things like that. And she's just telling her story. I don't think I've seen her talk about somebody else yet. Not that I watch her all the time, but yeah, it's just her telling her own social proof. And you guys can do that as well. All right, so let's see here. What else we have? Some questions we get for lack of trust are things like they don't know your company. Also, is there a guarantee, right? Well, and this, I usually see this when people are new. Is there a guarantee like that I'm going to get the results that you say I'm going to get? With coaching and consulting, there's never a true guarantee, because what we have found, and I forget what the exact numbers are right now, but for like courses and things, I think that the completion rate is somewhere like between 3 and 30%. It is ridiculously low for people completing a course. And that is not necessarily the fault of the course creator. It's just people just don't have the discipline to finish. They don't. Like, how many times have you picked up a book, started it and not finished it, or started a task and not finished it? It's just human nature. And so if someone buys a course from you, say it's 500 bucks, and they go through 30% of it, are they going to get the results that they see on the landing page or, the sales page? Absolutely not. Probably not, because they didn't do the work. And so, not that you can't offer a guarantee, but I do not offer a guarantee based on exactly how much money they're going to make or the exact results. What I tell people is if you do the program, you will see results. And now what you can do, which I love, is if you have, say they're going to get a client out of your program. Well, if they don't get the client in the time allotted, say it's 6 months, you'll give them additional 3 months. You'll work with them. You'll give them a one-on-one call or something like that. I just wouldn't do a guarantee based on money or based on results, because like I said, people just don't do their part all the time. Now, one thing I have seen done that I shouldn't say it works, because people don't tend to ask for a refund because it's worded this way, is that people have to do a certain percentage of the work to ask for a refund. Meaning what happens is you say, okay, you're in this program, you got to say it's a, coaching program where they have to do a course and have homework, and they have to do like coaching calls. You got to come to 90% of the coaching calls. You got to show the proof of 90% of the work. And if you show that and it's done and you still didn't get the result, then whatever. And I think it was actually just more coaching. But people don't ask for refunds usually with that, because usually, again, they don't do all the work. So you don't have to go into that in the call. You just would say whatever your guarantee is. Again, that if you do the work, you will see the results. And if for some reason you don't hit that milestone, you will see what's going on and make sure that you don't need any tweaks in your system or something like that. And I think that's totally okay. Customer service matters. So I wouldn't say, no, you ain't got no guarantee, but be honest and say, you got to do the work. We know the system works because we've seen people that do it, but results will vary because we don't know, just like you don't know us, we don't know how much work you're really going to be putting in. But if you're confident, right? If you're confident that you're going to show up 100% and that you're going to do the work, then I can guarantee you're going to have results, period. And that's what I know. I know that for sure. And I've had clients who have done work with me who have done absolutely nothing and gotten very poor results. And I'm like, well, hey, I used to take it personally, but now I can see, I'm like, okay, they didn't show up for their calls. I gave them additional calls. They're not doing that work. I asked them to do the X, Y, and Z. They didn't do X, Y, and Z. There's only so much I can do besides jump in their body and do it for them. You know what I mean? So, you can't take it personally, and you can't guarantee things you can't ensure they deliver on. It may sound good to say, yeah, if you do this and you don't make your $10,000, we'll give you your money back. The issue is they could do absolutely nothing. Of course, they're not going to get their $10,000. Like, that's just the way it is. And you can say something, again, be nice with your customers or your prospective clients, but this is the truth you need to know. They say, well, I don't like contracts. Well, the contract is there to protect me and you. We've streamlined the contract process. Read through it. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. We try to keep our contracts as short as possible, but the contract really truly does protect you from people asking for their refunds and things of that nature. They can ask questions like, what if I'm not happy with the results? Again, know your protocols for that. And again, leverage the social proof. Again, the proof is in the pudding. All right, so some other objections: lack of need. Well, and this happens a lot. I don't think that I need that right now, or maybe in the future, right? It's almost like people are saying, like, I don't think I can do this at this moment. Like, maybe in the future I'll be ready. In a couple of months, this is probably better for me. And truthfully, that just means they haven't been convinced based on the value that it's going to provide that they need the product, because there's never going to be the right time, right? Say again, we're going to do weight loss. Apparently it's on my mind today, but yeah, it's never going to be the right time, right? Well, got kids in school, maybe in the summer. Okay. In the summer, you're still going to have stuff to do. In the summer, the only thing that's going to change is you're going to be further away from your goal. That's it. More time's going to have passed, more opportunities are going to be missed. And so there's no point in you allowing that to be the reason why they don't close with you. So when they say they don't have time or it's not the right time, ask them, okay, well, what does the right time look like? Right? Redirect them. What would the right time look like? What would it take for you to be ready? And there are a few exceptions. if somebody tells me they're doing their dissertation, I let them go. I'm gonna be real with you because I have a lot of ed consultants, and that dissertation one, I did one person that was doing their dissertation at the same time as my coaching, and I felt so bad for her. So bad that now when people tell me they're taking their dissertation, I'm like, okay, when is it over? And I will check back, and they do finish, and we do that. And then if they are in the process of moving, I also will sometimes let that one go, depending on how far the move is, because they're not there, and it's no point. I try to be of integrity. It's like they're not going to get their work done. They don't even have internet access. Like, nah, we'll come back. Usually, it's like I'll just check back in a couple of weeks. But yeah, but you want to, again, if they say that it's not the right time, what would be the right time? What would that look like? And then you overcome that objection by explaining to them why your system kind of will make sure that's not going to be an issue. So, I just don't have a lot of time. Great. Don't worry. Our program only asks you to, check this out every, 15 minutes for 3 days a week, or, work out 30 minutes 3 days a week, or what have you. And that's why you have to know your audience. I know my audience is super busy, so I try not to make super long videos. That's why I try to get you in and get you out in 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so. If any of you have gotten our freebie, that 90-day visibility challenge, you see that everything's really short. Even the 8+ hours of training, they're 30-minute sessions, because I don't want you to have to sit in front of the screen, because you guys do not have time to sit in front of the screen. So, okay, we took care of the lack of need. And then, like I said, lack of urgency. They're just saying that maybe in the future, check back later, things of that nature. And again, as long as you know the objections in your scripts, you want to write things down that will help you overcome it. But if you know these objections, put them into your questions to ask them how could this service fit in your life? What would it look like? One of the questions, what would it look like if you could get this result for only 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week? Then you've already overcome that objection of I don't have time. See, in the question section. So don't even wait to the end. Think of these objections, figure out which ones are more prevalent in your industry. And when you ask the questions, get them to answer that so they've already covered. Because you can say, hey, remember when you said that all you could do 30 minutes, right? You try to get them to say yes 3 times during the call. You already said you could do 30 minutes a day. You already said that you've already tried it on your own and it didn't work. You've already said you spent thousands of dollars that went to this place and that place because you tried to piece the system together yourself. Right. And they're like, yeah, I did say that. Okay. So this is answering all those things. What's stopping you from saying yes today? And they're like, well, dang, I guess I can't. Sign on the dotted line. Okay. All right. And so at the end, you're going to do your call to action, wrap it up because you've already asked some questions, and get them try your best without being too salesy to get them to go ahead, sign up, pay, do whatever on the call. On the call. It's a lot harder once they're off to get them to say yes, because people will say yes to you on the call and then never sign their contract, never pay their invoice. So I want you to have a system set up in which you can say, okay, you're ready. Here's the link. It's in the chat. Go ahead. Or, hey, I've emailed you. Go ahead. You can do it now. I can take your card information now, right? You want to be able to do that on the call. And that's why I said that incentive is great for having an on the call incentive so that they can get done. I do have a few people that have to, do something and then they'll pay. But you want that to be the exception to the rule, not the rule. Okay. And then I've talked before about sales calls. If for some reason somebody does not say yes on the call, and it'll happen, nobody has 100% success rate, make sure you do follow up. If they do tell you to follow up with them, do follow up, because sometimes you'll follow up and they'll be ready. Like, it happens. They're not lying to you. It'll happen. So yeah, have a system set up where you have automated emails that go out, thanking them for doing the call, asking if they have any questions, things like that, letting them know more about that product or service. If they need any access to anything, sending that out. And again, if you want to follow up, do so. If they're getting any freebies, give them those things as well. What else? I think that is it. Yes, we got through everything. So does anybody have any questions? Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, somebody put a comment says, they always say I got to ask my husband even after they say they are the decision maker. So this is the thing for that real quick. I was going to hire, hold on, I need a little sip here. My throat gets dry on these calls. Sorry, it just makes me laugh. I was in the process of trying to find a closer for my business. Even though I still do my sales calls because I haven't found me yet. But one of the things I said is most of my audience are women. And I'm telling you, the biggest objection I get is I gotta ask my husband, or not, it's not gotta ask, it's I gotta talk to my husband. But they're the decision maker, and both are true. Both are true. Let me tell you why. I've worked with men in spaces, and the one thing that always blows my mind is this idea that they can just spend whatever. And it isn't because they have any different amount of money. It's a mentality where men, and not, no offense to anybody, but this is what I have seen to be true. And this is also what I've heard from other coaches, that men will get on a call, they will hear the number, and if they've overcome all the rest of the objections, they do not think about necessarily consulting with their wife, and they will swipe that card. And they'll be done with it. And I guess they'll just ask later. I've also heard of men who are like, well, if I gotta sleep on the couch, or do this, or if I gotta do that, they're totally fine with it. Women are like, but my child needs shoes next month, spring, summer school shopping, grocery buying, all this stuff. And so sometimes it's not necessarily that they even have to talk to their spouse. They just need to get their head wrapped around their finances before they make a decision, because they know that a lot of things revolve around them balancing their family's budget. And again, I know this is very stereotype, but again, this is what I have seen to be true, and this is what I have heard to be true. And it's true even in my household. I rarely make a big buying thing on a call. I always tell them, like, give me a couple hours and I'll do it, because I gotta go and look, because I'll be excited on the call, and I know me, I'll be excited on the call, but let me just make sure this money gonna not be funny when it's done. Let me make sure, and I really do. I go look, like, okay, cool, and I'll purchase. And what I have had happen, I was on a call with a man during the sales call, and he was so mean to me when I said, can I have a couple of hours? I really like this. Everything is cool. Let me just look at my budget to make sure it's going to be fine. I want to make sure I'm not going to have any issues taking care of it. I may need to move something around. He treated me so bad for not, he was like, well, you said you're the decision maker and you should go ahead and do it now. There's no, he was just, when I tell you I really wanted the product, I was going to buy it. And then I was like, I'm not, because he was just trash. Just trash, we're going to call it. He was so rude. And it was like, no. So I try to walk a fine line and be understanding that women will say that sometimes. And truthfully, if this, for women listening, what happens when the budget isn't balanced and it is your fault? I'm just saying, what happens when Becky needs the shoes, or the kid doesn't have, the costume for the recital? Who figures that out? In a lot of households, it is the woman. And so you want to make sure you're good. And I can understand that. And I'm just going to be honest. That's why he wasn't hired. I didn't hire the guy that I talked to, because he didn't understand that. He was like, yeah, like, that's my audience. And we have to be understanding to that. Have I lost a sale or two because of it? I'm sure I have. But does my heart, can I sleep comfortably at night? Do I feel good in my soul? Absolutely. So you got to kind of decide how hard you want to hit with that. You will hear it. I haven't heard it from a guy yet. Just gonna be honest. So if your audience are men, you might not hear that objection much. Like, I got to talk to my wife. But maybe an older couple might do that. But yeah, most of the time, that's a woman's objection. Yeah. Oh, she must have seen the lady, the one that's always thin. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the comments later. But yeah, she's like, she always live. I know, I've been trying to figure out when the lady sleeps. But it's not a bad thing. I'm telling you, you might think you would be annoying if you were always live, but people will view you at different times. I have some of you who are my ride or dies in the morning when I'm getting my makeup on, but it's like 10 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. And so some of you at work, you never see those videos. And then some of you, I see you on a lot of these 6 p.m. ones. So it's cool beans, with something for everybody. But what I'll say is, I think we're good. I don't see any other questions or comments for me to respond to. And thank you, Catherine. She said that's good advice. Thank you. Thank you so much. So I'm going to let you guys go. Before we head out, if you want a hot seat coaching session, then you can definitely check your DMs here in a few minutes, and I will make sure to send you the link on how to claim that. Also, next Monday, we have how to get your first 10K month in your first 6 months of business or less. Oftentimes, that is the number that people tell me they want to hit when I talk to them in my coaching programs, that 10K month, that 10K month. We're going to talk about the real strategies and the math behind getting your first 10K month within the first 6 months of business. Now, some of you might say, you've already been in business for years or what have you, but it's a 6 month strategy. Anybody can do it. And so if you've been trying to get to that 10K and you haven't hit it yet, we're going to give you some ideas because a lot of you are working harder and not smarter. And we want to change that to smarter and not harder. If you enjoyed anything you heard here tonight, if you're like, oh my gosh, this was so great, I want to know more about her, I want to, do business, maybe I want a marketing product or I want coaching services, feel free to book a call with me. I'm a normal person. We have a fun talk up there. I'm very honest. I will tell you what you can do yourself. I will tell you what systems you can use. And then if I can, I will tell you how we can support you. And if I can't, I will point you in the right direction. I'm not afraid to share the wealth at all. But if you're interested in connecting with us, the link is here and I will put it in the comment sections as well on all the respective platforms, just in case you want to book a call. But with that being said, guys, we are going to end this for tonight. I can't wait to see you guys in these iRock streets, whether it's on a Monday Night Live, whether it's in one of our trainings, one of our products or services, or whether I see you out and about. I'm excited because I get to see at least two, three, actually probably more than at least 4 of you when I go to Georgia in a couple of days. So I'm super excited about that because I've seen you in the group and I'm like, yay. So if you're also in Georgia, near the Atlanta area, let me know. Maybe we can have coffee or something. I don't even drink coffee, but maybe we can have tea or something and say hello. I love being able to connect with you guys in person versus just virtual. But with that being said, guys, you all have an amazing night. Remember, I rock, you rock, we all rock, and I will see you guys next time.